r/NoStupidQuestions. Raspin says, are there actually people in the world who are not anxious or depressed? People tell me that I'm depressed or anxious all the time, but I really don't think that's the case. Because given COVID, Trump, Russia invading Ukraine and the possibility of further escalations, the rise of right-wing national movements all over the world, and the inevitable consequences of climate change, isn't anxiety and depression a sign of sanity rather than mental illness? And therapy has never properly addressed these things. Are there actually people out there who are not depressed? In that, you don't spend a good deal of your day thinking that life is hopeless and you're helpless to do anything about it? Are there people out there who are not anxious? Wherein you spend a good part of your day thinking you'll be killed violently due to war, or terrorist attacks, or mass shootings, or lack of proper healthcare/infrastructure as the world collapses around you? If you are not one of those things, how and why? Edit. Well, this certainly blew up in a way I wasn't expecting. I will try to respond to all of you, but if I don't, just know that it's because I'm working all day tomorrow, and I will get back to you once I'm back on Reddit. Further edit. Everyone, I really appreciate all of you commenting on this. I just responded to 130 comments, and now that I'm done I have 179 to do. I have to go to sleep and work all day tomorrow and the day after, but I will try and respond to all of these when I get the chance. However, I might not get to all of you, but just now I'm taking the time to read these all when I get the chance. Had I have known this would get this kind of attention, I would have posted it on one of my days off, but I hope perhaps some of these responses are helpful to anyone else who is anxious and feels like that one raving lunatic and can't understand why other people don't agree with them. Stringing Bean says, you really need to take a media break. Macdonism says, backing this up. I strongly advise taking a break from all social media. Try to focus on the life happening in front of you, not on the screen. Sounds really cheesy, but you aren't helping yourself or the people suffering by bogging yourself down with these intense anxieties. Moretta Vicar 83 says, I'm pretty happy because I lead a busy, productive life. I'm good at what I do and believe in its usefulness. I agree that screen-based activities are, at best, a distraction, and at worst, a route to major depression. Apollo Reactor 001 says, yes, many people are neither anxious nor depressed. No, it's not a sign of sanity if you spend time worrying about things you can't change. That's called a maladaptive behavior. It doesn't help you, it only hurts you. There is no specific how or why I have good mental health. I wasn't beaten or neglected as a child. I live in a safe part of the world, my finances are somewhat in order, I have long-term goals, and I can see a path to achieving them. I eat relatively healthy and get a modest amount of exercise. I have friends, and I care about them. These things all contribute to good mental health. I've had anxiety and depression in the past, but they went away when my life circumstances got better. There's also an element of luck. My brain chemicals just seem to default back to not depressed or anxious. For others, they default to depressed and anxious. Nobody for sure knows why. r/NoStupidQuestions. Bodabalderkey8931 says, when I was a kid at my grandma's house, which I believe was built more than 70 years ago, there was a thing that, whenever someone flushed the toilet while someone else was taking a shower, they would always get a surprise splash of extremely hot water. Why exactly did this happen? Anakchal Spasekadat says, the pipes are linked. Toilet only pulls cold water, so for a moment the person in the shower only gets water from the boiler, which is almost boiling, at least when it's in the boiler. WOMBAT says, modern shower faucets have a device called an equalizer valve whereby, if there's a drop in pressure on the hot or cold side, it will automatically compensate by throttling the pressure on the other side as well. This isn't a perfect system, but it tends to damp down changes in shower temperature. The reason this happens is if the house was somewhat less than expertly plumbed, and for example the WC and the shower were plumbed from the same line using same sizes pipe. This meant that if the outlet opening size of the shower valve and the WC valve were larger than the inlet pipe diameter, then using both at the same time would cause a significant pressure drop, because the main flow restriction was the branch line supplying both, not the outlet valves themselves. Strictly speaking, if you have 2 or 3 outlets connected to a branch line, it's best to use a reducing T, so that the lines running directly into the respective taps are smaller in diameter than the branch supplying them. In the past, thermostats on hot water heaters didn't always work well, so what you're describing might not simply be alarming, it could actually cause people in some cases to be scalded or blinded with near boiling hot water. Hence the invention of the equalizer valve. Molsfarp says, the hot water from the tap is actually a mix of very hot water from the boiler with cold water. It's more efficient that way. But when something else is drawing cold water, that means the proportion of very hot water increases, so the temperature at the tap increases. r/NoStupidQuestions. Pale Memory 9807 says, at large group dinners with lots of alcohol flowing, am I expected to split the check evenly with everyone if I don't drink? For context, I'll be going on a bachelor party trip soon with some guys that can really burn the town down. I'm just over a year sober and used to tear it up with these guys, so I know there will be bottles of wine, cocktails, and beers at every dinner or lunch we go to. Back in my drinking days, everyone would just split the check evenly, but without drinking any alcohol, am I expected to still do that when booze could be half the tab? I expect to pay for my meal plus gratuity, obviously. I just don't want to be a pain in the ass or annoying by not pitching for alcohol I didn't drink. Nice Blue Bad 7626 says, tell the server you want to be put on a separate ticket. Discreetly. Problem solved. Psy34 says, get a separate check then. Greenhouse 5 says, when you order food, tell the server that you want a separate check. It's easy and they don't mind. Look at the bill when you get it and make sure you've only been charged for the stuff you consumed, and then tip well. Honestly though, you will probably be expected to pay for some of the groom's drinks. Warm Objective 4162 says, no, I'd say you pay for your own plus whatever percentage of the groom you'll decide on. Did C091313 says, if you are just going to dinner with drinking, I would bite the bullet and pay your share. But if you are going out on the town, I would tell whoever arranged the party that you want a separate check because you will not be drinking. If they are a friend, they will understand. If they drink as much as you say, that bill will be huge, so if you want, maybe contribute like $50, $100 towards the bill. When at the restaurant, I would pull the waitress aside and tell them the situation. Request a separate check. If it's a problem, ask for a manager. Some options would be offer to pay for the taxes, be the designated driver, buy breakfast the next day. Your sobriety is more important over everything. And if they truly are friends, they will understand. r/NoStupidQuestions. I love Luckja1738 says, why do our pilots talk like this? Why is saying uhhh their thing? Wantal Magaman Boja says, if there isn't consistent audio input, the mic will cut off. This prevents it from sounding clipped and potentially not communicating something important. Hotijai says, this is the right answer. MT401K says, no kidding, I thought they were just trying to fit the stereotype for fun. Learn something new every day. Lol. Creature in the corner says, I don't know what 1970s headsets y'all single engine private dudes are flying with, but the audio clip out isn't a thing these days. I don't get any us when I fly. If it does happen, tower or some other plane, it's just a verbal filler while gathering their thoughts and trying to communicate lots of stuff in the moment. Stop shouting, Crofty says. Do you get any meows though? Saturnatix says. It's better to keep one steady stream of audio coming through rather than risk letting it clip by turning it off and something important not getting through. Just a precaution. PM me a message though says. I read the last sentence as just a precaution. It's not you, it's me. r/NoStupidQuestions. Olivia Pulensex says. Is there a scientific reason why yawns seem contagious, or is it just a psychological phenomenon? Mabry says. Contagious yawning is a real, scientifically confirmed phenomenon which occurs in several species of mammals, and possibly at least one bad species, and can even occur cross species. That said, we don't know why it happens, partially because we don't really understand why yawns happen in the first place. Elidgat says. I heard somewhere that you yawn when you're tired because it forces you to take a deep breath, which delivers a big dose of oxygen to your brain and wakes you up a little. Rustic Surgery says. The speculation for it being contagious is a group of cave people sitting around a fire would have safety concerns and might need to elect someone to stand watch. So, person 1 yawns, then the others do the same. Now the group as a whole is aware there is danger of all parties falling asleep, leaving them vulnerable. Then they tell Grog to get on his feet and stand watch. Poopmobile 9000 says. They are contagious. Not just in humans. People aren't sure why. Maybe to signal the group it's time to sleep. Brainless says. I literally yawned just reading this post and comments. It's bananas how contagious even just the mental image of a yawn can be. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.